Hello and welcome to Garblag. Hello, I'm Ben, and I'm playing Sigrid, daughter of Sigrid, who was a made-up character for the Hobbit films that I ran with and went, you know what, I want to be a Princess of Dale, so I am. I'm also a warden and a bit good with a longbow, especially Aiwenarach, my mingy elf bow of turbo destruction.
Good evening, everybody. It's Dan M. Hello. I am playing Ithildir, High Elf of Rivendell, and Captain. And he talks softly like this, with gentle, monotone voices. And he is a servant of Glorfindel and of Elrond, and he's also good with the sword. Though I was just checking my character sheet, and I have not named my sword. I think this is a bit of a crime. So I will have to name my sword.
It can earn a name in the game.
Shocking behaviour. Well, it should have already earned a bloody name. Been
I think we should
around
have
all
given
this
it a
time.
name. I mean, it's quite a good sword.
Yeah.
Hi all, I'm Dan. And apparently no one can hear Lewis, so we're going to just stall for a little bit longer. Hi all, I'm Dan P, the second Dan. And I am playing Astanon. He is a Ranger of the North of the Dunedain. He is also a Warden. And he goes by the title of the Grey Warden, and that's because he trudges around Arnor and the northern parts of above the Hobbiton and all that in a very dank grey cape. It's an elven cloak though, so it is fancy in that regard. And he's quite grey. He's getting old now. He's 71, which is not that old for a Dunedain, but he doesn't really take care of himself. He lives frugally versus the princess she's got a lot of money. He doesn't have money to name swords and buy fancy swords. He just has a large sword and a large bow, and he's kind of okay with both. But that is him, and I'm going to hand back to Ben because Ben's much better at stalling than I am.
Oh, cheers. So Lewis is pressing buttons in the background. You can tell he looks really busy. Look at his face, the concentration on that face. Super busy. So if you have joined us previously, it is, yeah. If you've previously joined us for our adventures in Eriador, you will have been here for our first adventure, in which we put together a little fellowship and went and did some stuff. Trying to remember what we did in the first one now. We definitely ended up at Rivendell after beating up some trolls at the end of the first one and got patted on the back and told well done by Gandalf and Elrond, which was nice. In our second adventure, Elrond was like, hey, go and rescue this young ranger fella who we think might be in trouble. And it turned out to be Aragorn, son of Arathorn, although he was going by Strider in those days. And indeed still is, I suppose, given that we haven't got to the events of the One Ring yet, because we're a few years off.
We're still a long way off. We're now in the year 3007 of the Third Age. And something important happens in that year, but we'll find out about that later. So we'll get cracking and go straight into it. By the way, does anyone need a quick rules recap?
All of us, but we'll do it as we go along.
Okie dokie.
Seconded.
In that case, Ithildir, Sigrun, and Astanon, you are all moving swiftly down into the barren wastes and ruins of Cardolan, tracking a pack of wolves. You've pursued them for many leagues, and only in the last couple of days have you managed to steal a march on your quarry. You now find yourselves just north of the Grey Flood, where the Grey Flood forks into the Horwell and the Loudwater, which you should be able to see on the map. The wolves themselves have been running amok in Eriador, previously terrorizing farmers and holdings all the way from the Chetwood and Bree down to Cardolan. The winter itself has not been easy, and so those lands are already struck by an ever-deepening hardship. which happens in these darkening days, so they can ill afford further attacks. The wolves themselves are described by witnesses as large and malevolent, led by a beast with cruel eyes and fierce cunning. In many of the villages where they were spotted, there are now whispers and rumours that such murderous and vicious beasts must have been unleashed upon Eriador from Angmar or some other dark land. It's pretty snowy where you are. Winter has set in completely, and to either side of you the land runs up into a blanket of white snow upon the lazy rolling hills. Here and there there's a stray thorny bush and stubborn hearty plant that tries to push its way to the surface, clutching vainly for the shallow warmth of the winter sun. The white carpet crunches beneath Sigrun and Astenon's feet as you slog swiftly forwards, leaving a slowly disappearing trail behind you. In the distance you can hear the noise of howling wolves, but you can't quite see them yet. And there's also a glint of movement that draws your attention to a far-off hillock. And that's where we'll start.
I will crouch down.
What are you looking for? What are you up
I'm going
to?
to crouch down and look at the hillock to see what the movement was.
Yeah. Okay. You can see a shape against it, but it's almost white on white.
How far off is it, roughly?
It's probably about half a league away from you.
Okay.
Does it look like it's one
So,
of the things that we're
A
hunting?
mile and a half, something like that. It doesn't. It looks like it's something else completely.
Is it humanoid?
No, it looks like
We
an
owe it to
animal.
the people of Cardaland to ensure that these wargs make it no further. If they make it as far as Tharbad or the Swan Fleet, we might lose them.
The wolves themselves, the howling you've been hearing, appears to be sort of off slightly more southernly than where you can see this form against the hillside.
We could press around in a crescent and try and make good time to catch up with them. What say you, gentlemen?
A good idea, princess.
Aslan's going to crouch down a little bit more into the snow because his elven cloak seems to almost shift with the colours of the outside world. And he's going to creep along the snow very gently, and he's going to try and get a little bit closer to whatever that is on the hill to make sure that we aren't exposing ourselves as we leave.
Yeah, sure.
Right, good to know. I'll be the target again then, shall I?
If
Aslan
you
doesn't
want.
say much. He kind of just does his thing.
Are you trying to work out what it is, or are you just trying to stay aware of where it is?
Aslan's trying to sort of move in the direction that we're going to be moving in, but also
Yeah.
closing the gap on it a little bit, just so I could potentially get a better view of it, see what it is.
Yeah.
And I'm
Okay.
doing so stealthily.
In that case, I'll probably let you have an awareness roll just to get things going. So we're immediately into how to do rolls.
Okay, that's fine. What's the TN?
Oh, what roll, sorry?
Awareness, you can just, if you open up your character sheet, you should just be
Yeah.
able to click on awareness and it'll add, it's on your strength. It's underneath your strength. And it'll add whatever dice you have in awareness to it. And you can obviously spend hope if you want to make it a little bit easier for yourself. I can only encourage spending hope early and in massive amounts.
Despite my extreme dice pool of... I failed miserably.
Yeah, whatever it was, it spots you moving around and trying to get like a better look at it, and kicks off, and a shower of snow kicks into the air, and whatever it was leaps off down the other side of the hill and disappears from your view. And as it does that, you hear the howling again, coming from slightly closer to where it was, but still out of view.
So most likely just some wildlife. Maybe a deer.
Would be buddies.
Perhaps the wolves. Perhaps the wolves seek whatever that animal was.
Well, either we've spooked it or they have.
So,
I'm sure we'll find out.
if you want to track the wolves, what we're going to do journey-wise, as this is a sort of condensed one-shot prologue kind of episode, rather than actual full journey rules, there's 3 of you. One of you can like roll either on hunt or awareness or travel or something to see how well you succeed, and you're basically all going full pelt trying to catch up with these wolves. So we'll be moving swiftly in sort of like blocks of half a day each time, rather than, you know, a full day's travel, and then seeing how far you get.
I have hunting 2. I don't know what anybody else has in terms
I
of
have
exploring.
hunting 3 and favoured, so...
Then
I have hunting 1.
And
So-
then, so at the end of successful or failing rolls for your travel, basically, yeah. So you can move up a little bit. You're tracking the sounds and sort of the distant movement of birds flying away and animals you can hear scurrying away, as well as this pack of wolves roams through, sort of tracking everything this way, so you can move yourself to there if you want, or I'll do that, and then we'll roll on the travel the event resolution. So I shall give you
That's it, we're only allowed like 3 seconds. You have to stop then.
right. Oh, I did that wrong. Can one of you roll a d6? I'll keep that too then.
Is anyone typing it?
Go for it.
Not me, I always break it when I do that.
6.
So,
Let's hope it's a good 6 and not a bad 6.
oh, it's pretty easy.
Like last time, Dan was
Sigrun
like, yes, I got a
is 1 and
66.
2. Dan is 3 and 4. Well, Dan M is 3 and 4, and Dan P is 5 and 6. So the event that occurs is as you're chasing the sound of these wolves that you're tracking, Astanon, you pick up on a slight trail leading off, and you're very certain that it's the wolves. It seems to be a bunch of tracks coming together, and you lead, or try to lead everyone off in that direction, for you have perhaps made an ill choice. We'll find out. Can you make a hunting roll?
Can indeed. Yes, I can.
Yeah, great. Okay then. At the last moment, you spot further ahead where the tracks bend out again from this little thicket of bushes that you were gonna run straight into and try to follow the tracks down. and manage to cut off that bit of the trail, saving yourself from probably losing some time and losing pace with the wolves again. So no one gains shadow, but you do all gain a point of fatigue.
Is this journey mode?
Yep.
I don't, for I have the endurance of rangers. I'm wearing leather armor.
Isn't it great?
I do not suffer fatigue on journeys.
Just running and running. Anyway,
Where have you gone?
again, you can still hear the wolves. You're still tracking them, and at this point, you've, thanks to Astanon, managed to pick up a trail of closely packed wolf prints running through the snow.
Sorry, question, where's fatigue gone?
Fatigue is by
Fatigue is
load in
by
the
your
little
load,
box.
because it basically raises your load slightly.
Oh, there we are.
And so you're tracking it, and you move up towards what looks to be a sort of shallow dale coming in between these two hills, and you still haven't got any sight on the wolves, but in the distance a massive white deer appears before you. It's a huge stag, tall and pale white, almost invisible against the winter snow, and bearing proudly a set of antlers to rival the great deer of legend.
Right, that's important, that is.
Did we see a deer in the last game?
I think, was it in the last game? Yeah, you might have done during one of your journeys. But you definitely do this time. And it sort of locks eyes with the three of you for a moment. And then you hear the wolves again, and it rushes off in between this little dale, skirting around the hillside and into a small forest further down, and
Can either of you
trailing a
roll
few
law
paces
without stabbing
behind,
yourself?
a white
Law?
fawn hops behind it.
I have law too.
I fear that if I try and do a law roll, I might stab myself in the eye.
Just hit
3.
yourself with a book. If only you had some kind of tome finder with you.
I know, right? That's why he's my focus. You,
Why
do
are
some
you
thinking
making
for me.
this roll?
Yeah, Asnon
In
turns
case
to.
that, because I'm sure that white stag is important. I'm sure it's like a beast of legend or something, but... Nice.
Yeah, great. So yeah, who was that rolling anyway? Because you
That was a
rolled
law
on
roll from
company.
me.
Right, okay.
Oh, did I?
Ithildir, being a wise old elf of Rivendell, you're fairly certain that the appearance of such a creature is of importance. There are plenty of white hearts around, but they're all well hidden, and they rarely reveal themselves in case or unless an event of some note is about to appear. And in this case, it feels like a form of foreshadowing. And that makes you even more uncomfortable that the wolves are seem to be pursuing the same direction as this white hart that has just run off, as they're very important for what remains of the light in the area.
I think you're right. There is definitely some portent here, and this this stag is of importance. And I do not feel that these wolves killing this beast would be a good thing.
So we pursue the stag and let the wolves come to us.
Good idea.
Indeed. We must move
Okay.
swiftly on the snow then.
Nafildir
Sure,
just
no
sort of, yeah, just sort of like, I don't know what everyone's complaining about. Standing on top of the snow.
So now I am in some pretty heavy
Yeah,
armor. I
pretty
think
heavy
I'm
army. Who
in
knows?
chain armor or
Who
something
knows
like
how it affects?
coat of mail and great shield.
Yeah. Okay then. You might be a bit weighed down as well. Anyway, that brings us to our next travel test. So, Sigrun's done one. Who wants to do one now? You can roll on hunting or some kind of travel or tracking or awareness. Pretty broad in this case, as this is more of a free hunter's situation than a full-on journey.
I mean, I'll go in and do it again if you want.
Yeah, you
I'm
led
going
us
to
so
make
very
you all roll so that there's a
Oh,
higher
okay,
chance
fine.
of
I'll
someone
do it.
failing.
I'll do it, because it'll be me that fails, most likely.
Not with that, you won't.
No,
No.
there you go. That was a Gandalf as well.
Gandalf.
So yeah, you manage to follow the trail of this white hart and the fawn that's hopping behind it, and you pursue it down into the glens and around the side of the forests against the Horwell, which are also all blanketed in snow. Can someone roll a d6 again?
Somebody else do it this time, because I rolled a 6 last time.
I mean, if you all roll your own number, that's also fine.
Yo, did you do it, Dan?
Oh no, I was waiting for one of you to.
No,
Yeah.
Classic.
go on, you do it.
Okay, I'm doing it.
Done it. Hey, I rolled down.
So, Astanon,
You know it's good when the GM laughs at you like that.
Yeah.
It's still all right. Nothing horrible will happen. Except
We're good at
Astanon
this.
is not great at choices, seemingly, today.
Don't
Can
lie,
you
I cut off
give-
time.
Yeah. Can you give me another hunting roll?
Sure.
You can spend hope.
I don't need to spend hope. Look at
Boom.
that.
Gandalf's
That's
right there.
amazing.
Boo.
Great success.
All these Gandalfs, it's not fair.
Yeah, stop using them up.
Yeah. Yeah. The road splits up. Well, the path splits up ahead of you and enters the forest in two places. And it takes you a moment to gather your wits and properly find the stag's tracks. But you swiftly pull off and pursue it down one of the tracks into the forest. Behind you, the sound of the wolves is getting closer, and it almost seems to be circling around to the side of you now. You also all gain 1 fatigue again, as you're literally running and your way through heavy snow.
Unless you're a ranger.
Yeah. Unless you're a ranger who just doesn't care.
I thought I was on horseback. Oh well. Fatigue, here I come.
Ahead of you, perched upon a bough in one of the snow-covered branches, or on one of the snow-covered branches, there's a little thrush that seems to be spying the three of you as well. It chirps and sings merrily as you pass. Are you
Is he in?
weary already?
I did say, I go pretty well
Wow.
equipped.
Oh dear.
Fine, I ditched the short spear.
Yeah, feel free to unequip some stuff and give it to your horse.
There we go.
So,
Fixed it.
how are you moving forwards from here?
Is that still saying that I'm
So
overloaded?
they've split off to the side, did you say?
Yep. Yeah, you can still
so-
hear the wolves howling.
So one might
and it
assume
almost
that-
feels like they're aware of you now, but
I was going
they
to say,
also yeah.
does it feel like we're now being hunted?
Can I make a battle roll?
Yeah, you'd have to
To
give
kind of
me
plan
some
an
kind of
attack
roll
roll.
to determine that. Yeah. What do you want to do a battle roll for, Dan?
I want to kind of
Ithildir?
fit, I want to if they are like to the side of us.
Mm.
I want to make a battle roll to see if turning to our flank and attacking them directly would work.
You can do that.
Is that how
And-
battle works? There we go.
Yeah, well, you can sort of determine your advantages and what would be the best course of action if you were to fight, for instance.
One thing I would say, if you've not played the One Ring before and you're generating your first character, don't try and be a generalist.
Nah.
This is our third season and I'm still regretting being a
Isn't
generalist.
everyone?
I can do everything, but I can't do anything because I'm rubbish at all of the things.
I thought you were really good with the bow.
I am very good with the bow, but
It's just
when
a
it
really
comes to
good bow.
skills, I'm good with the bow. I'm good at hunting. But all of my wit skills, I've got 1 point in each of them, and there was no point. I should have just not bothered. Put it all in one thing in the hope that I might succeed at that.
I mean, if you spend
Quality
some
role
hope,
playing, obviously, from me. There,
if you spend
with
some
being
hope, that becomes 2
strong,
d6s that you'd
independent
have.
woman.
So
Not spending hope on a
spend all
wits
your
target number of 18.
Yeah, sure. I mean, if you roll 2 6s, that's already 12 plus your feet dies. Anyway, Ithildir,
Very successful.
you're pretty sure that they're a little bit too far off to actually attack now. They're sort of skirting around you, probably trying to intercept the stag, but also aware that you're there.
They know we're here, but they're still going for the stag.
Well, that
and
will be the
should
last
increase our-
mistake they make.
Astanon, what was it you wanted to
I
try and
wanted
work
to
out?
try and do maybe an insight to see one sort
Sure.
of hunting patterns, but also maybe they're sort of get a rough estimate of their numbers
Yeah,
by looking at their tracks and stuff.
yeah. Yeah, you've passed some tracks, so you can definitely sort of try and gauge the amount.
No, I have no idea what's going on.
No.
There's at least one of them.
I mean, what you could have done there was spend some hope.
I could have done, but I
Or
think my
someone could have
stats are a little
spent
bit
some
behind.
hope to assist you. Also, don't forget, if you do succeed and you roll 6s, you can spend those sixes for extra bonuses to your success to do stuff. I want that close. Oh well, sorry. Yeah. So
Are we
you're
using groats for anything? I can't remember the groat rule on the One Ring.
I would say you can't use groats for the prologue, but groats will be allowed from
There we go. From next week.
From next week to add create a pool of extra d6s that you could use.
There we go.
Seems like the easiest thing to do with it. So yeah, Astanon, you're running full pelt. You're chasing a stag, which is also pretty swift, into the forest, The wolves are off to the side of you. You passed by their trail. You were tracking it along, but the ground was so churned up. They might be. The only sense you could get is they seem very organized. It was almost like perhaps they were moving 2 by 2 or in a line, and that was why the ground was churned up so much. That
without
which
even
is
sort of breaking
strange
a step or
that there
like,
appears to be
they're possessed of a bestial cunning.
Yeah, there appears to be an intent there.
And I will proceed running, because apparently that's what I'm good at.
Yep, go for it. The thrush is still watching you, by the way, chirping away.
That's a good sign, if I recall my Tolkienish.
If only
if it knocks on a mountain.
If only you had taken the barding skill to speak with birds.
Oh, that's why. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Anyway,
I could have taken that, but instead I took the one where I can kill dragons. I thought it might be a bit more useful.
Yeah, probably in the long run. Unless you get attacked by some very savage birds. How do you want to proceed from here? So you have the stag has run off. You're sort of following in the distance of it. To your side, there's a pack of wolves roaming around, trying to get ahead of you again, seemingly trying to intercept the stag.
We're better off going to the stag. If we go to the stag, they'll still be trying to get to it, but we'll be in a place where we can either defend it or whatever needs to be done.
Agreed.
Whereas if we try and pursue them and they split, we'll end up having to fight them in 2 lots.
If they change their mind and come for us anyway, all's the better.
We're on foot though, and stags move fast.
But not through undergrowth, they don't. Not with a crown like that.
Still faster than we can move. Certainly faster than you can move in that armour.
Well, alright, maybe I'll take a shot at one of them and see if I can persuade them that we might be more interesting to them.
Yeah. You could try that, but it'll be ill-favoured because you can't even see them.
Yeah. That's my next question is, could we do something to draw them in? Like, maybe cut one of our hands and put some blood on the ground?
You can try any old trick you'd
like. Be made of meat.
Be made of meat.
So
make them aware you're made of meat.
So, I mean, Astonon's idea is that like he's going to cut his hand and get it to bleed a little bit, and then as we're running, try to sort of say the stag's running this way, try to sort of put ourselves between the stag and the wolves, and like run his hand along trees and stuff, and leave a scent, and try to draw the wolves away, rather than because we can keep chasing the stag, but ultimately we're not going to catch a stag in full pelt. And maybe our better plan is to draw the wolves away with something that might smell nice to them.
Yeah, sure.
And you know what? I'm going to take that shot as well.
What do you want to roll for that? What do you think you're doing?
I'd almost say hunting again, because it's almost like using almost reverse hunting. I'm using a technique to try and draw in my prey so we can hunt them down. That
seems fair. Go for it. Don't forget your hope.
I don't need hope.
We got Gandalf.
I've got Gandalf. Gandalf has seen me through.
That's 3 Gandalfs you've rolled.
I know.
It's just all Gandalfs. You just,
that's who that thrush is.
I know he's your patron, but he can't help you with everything. It's done.
I'm a very lucky Ranger of the North, apparently.
Seemingly. You cut your hand a little bit. You start planting some prints on, and you hear a loud, long howl, and then you hear 2 other distinct howls that kind of peel off, and they might be tracking you now, as you hear sort of distant loping, crashing through the undergrowth. And
can you pop a wolf
birds
token on the screen so I can take a shot?
Astanon turns to the
You
others and goes,
can't you just
I
roll
think we got
roll
their
bows?
attention.
I could just roll bows, yeah, but I want to roll my bow, which is better.
Okay. Let me find a wolf. Yep.
See, the howl is what's going to make me target it. There you go. You're for it now, Sunshine.
Do you want me to put your character on?
No, it's fine. I can just target him like that and then roll.
It's
it from
still
the-
ill-favored because you can't
That's
see
fine.
them. Far off in the woods.
Oh, for the love of God! Now I have to do it in a combat tracker. You know what? Never mind. I'll roll bows. I will just roll bows, and ill-favored.
You got this.
I've got this. And I will spend hope.
Good.
Just 1 point.
Mm.
Ooh. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Just for wind speed, aim for the howl.
Somehow it flits through in between trees. Just
It's going to be an
above-
arrow cam moment.
just above the bushes, and you hear a distant thunk of something, of your arrow hitting in a wet impact, and a yelp and a howl. How much damage does your bow do, by the way?
Well, that would depend on whether that was a piercing attack or not.
That is a piercing attack.
In which case,
In any event, but you also have 2 successes that you could use to boost it
Right.
in any way if it doesn't outright kill the wolf, because you can.
well, his protection roll is
I'll
ill-favored.
Yeah, I'll roll protection then.
Do they have a might of 2 or more?
No.
Didn't think so. Somehow.
No, they do not. So ill-favored.
Yep. I score a piercing blow on a 9+.
You can still hear the second wolf running, but one of the yelps and howls has disappeared completely.
That's 1 down.
Nice shot.
To Ithildir and Astanon, the moment Sigrun released the bow, there was almost like you could almost watch the arrow leave in a trail of light. As it is, after all, a magical bow, and it was quite clear that that shot was beyond anything you've ever seen, even of elven archers.
But this is Iwenarach, the Sky Spear.
Much like her father.
Grandfather, please. My father was a fisherman.
I lose track
On
of human lives.
not important for now, but from next week we'll also be tracking eye awareness, so lots of magical successes are a good thing. There you go. One of them is still heading for you, though. The stag's also getting away, and the larger part of the wolves appear to be pursuing it.
You two carry on, I'll catch up.
Are you sure?
Go.
Alright, in which case, I'll go.
Yeah, Astanon doesn't really think twice about it either. She seems capable.
Astanon and Ithildir, what are you doing? You running after the stag? Are you trying to
Running
intercept
after
the
these
wolves?
Yeah.
It'd probably be a mixture of the two, wouldn't it? We'd probably be trying to obviously keep up with the stag, but
Get in
also
between them.
get in. But yeah, we're trying to sort of like do a little bit of both. Trying to intercept. We want to be in their way,
Yeah,
and now they can smell us.
yeah, sure. Yeah. So you can roll, well, on hunting, or battle.
Now, you said you wanted all of us to
or-
roll, so
Yeah.
do you want Dan M to roll this time for something?
Yep.
Oh dear.
Doesn't have to be hunting. It could be travel.
Hunting or battle, or I mean,
awareness
travel
even.
at this point feels less relevant.
Well, travel I don't do well in. Healing. Pretty good at healing. Battle.
Athletics to push yourself. I don't know.
Athletics is not. I think it was.
I'm grasping at straws.
I will do battle.
Go on.
We will
Spend
do
some
battle.
hope. It'll help you.
I mean, presumably we don't have much by way of hope between us at the minute. Because
Well, you all have hope.
Oh, I failed
It's
my
your
roll.
fellowship that's pretty low. Your hope has all been restored in the 2 years
I mean,
that
I
you
only
spent.
contribute like 1 point of fellowship, don't I?
Yeah. Yeah, but you still all each have your pool of hope that
That's true.
that should be at max. So yeah, you try to catch up, but you start stumbling and falling forwards. The ground underneath you seems to be a lot more craggy than you were expecting, as it sort of bends down towards the Grey Flood, which is a fairly substantial river. So even this forest is fairly rough terrain. There's rocks and outcroppings that were invisible beneath the snow, and you find yourselves stumbling forwards, trying to catch up. Well, sort of get yourselves in between the wolves and the stag. Okay. So that's 4. Can one of the two of you roll a d4, I suppose, in this case?
I don't think it should
Or a
be me.
d6. Roll a d6. 1 to 3 is a Fildir. 4 to 6. Yeah, great. Good job.
Always Astanon.
Yeah, you're clearly leading the hunt. Okay then.
he was the one that bled all over the trees.
That's true.
In that case, can you give me an awareness?
I can indeed. That'd be a Gandalf and a 6.
Ooh.
This would be like that time that Nye decided to try and catch a crocodile by pouring blood on his own head.
That was me. I died immediately. Anyway,
That does sound like an awful idea.
I was actually trying to throw the meat in, sort of, but yeah, things went badly wrong. Anyway, you do manage to stumble forwards, and you almost push yourself over a invisible ravine due to the snow line, but just manage to sort of stop at the edge of it. Unfortunately, skirting around it costs you time and effort, and Ifild is going to gain another fatigue. Astanon's just gonna look at everyone.
I might be fatigued.
Yep. Don't worry. When we get to the end, you get a chance to
You can drop
get rid
stuff.
of some of your fatigue before anything happens. But yeah, you push on through and find yourselves at the edge. Oh, using the wrong screen. At the edge of the forest, moving back out into the plains, where you're confronted with a burnt out farmstead near the water. Sigrun,
Yes.
what are you doing?
Gonna shoot that other wolf
And-
the second I clock it.
Whilst you're doing that, give me an awareness test.
Okay. We can do awareness. Awareness is a thing we can do. Of course, then that happens.
Spend hope. Hope would have saved you.
Hope would have saved me. Now,
How comes
I've got
off?
that ticked. Doesn't that mean it's
Yeah.
favoured? And that shouldn't have happened.
You rolled two feet dice, but you rolled badly on both of them.
Oh,
And
okay,
it
so
was
it's
still
just
a
a failure and not a
Yeah.
Sauron failure then.
No.
Right, all good.
As long as you're not miserable, Sauron failures are fine. Well, Sauron, yeah. So you hear a howl to the left of you in the forest, and you spin around with your bow,
Clever
ready
girl.
to release it, and waiting that split second for anything to appear that you can fire at, or even the slightest noise. Something lurches out from the right of you.
Are these creatures of shadow?
They're wolves.
Yeah, but are they like sinister evil wolves, or are they regular wolves that are just hungry?
This particular wolf looks like a fairly regular wolf.
I'm just wondering whether
a
my
wild
shadow
wolf.
lore would be able to save me at this point.
It might not save you getting chomped on.
Okay. Right, so I spin to the right to shoot, and something else happened.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you were surprised. So, just do this quickly. And the wolf is going to target you. And have a go with their fangs.
Okay.
There you go. So the wolf lurches out, and just as you're spinning around, realizing what has happened, these wolves seem particularly cunning. Fangs dig into your shoulders and slice across part of your shoulder down across your chest.
Can I use
So,
my
yeah.
armor?
Not
How do I
on
use
that, because it's
armor?
not a wound.
Oh, okay, it's not a wound, it's just damage.
Yeah, it's just endurance damage, so you just take 4 points of endurance, which makes everything harder because you're already carrying a lot with you. But now
It won't let
you
me
can
accept
attack
the
the
damage.
wolf back.
Sorry, it's not letting me accept the damage.
You should just be. If you just take it, yeah, there you go.
This one,
done
I
it.
just typed it on.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll go old school on it.
Yeah, it's probably easiest.
Am I still able to shoot it, or is it too close now?
I would say yes. It's kind of like it happens in a split second. This is not really the big combat, so don't worry about it.
It's still telling me that I'm not actually in combat. So bows it is. Bows.
Oh yeah, you've somehow wait. Now you're in combat. And if you target the wolf, you should be able to shoot your bow at it, and it should do everything. Oh. What did you? Yeah. There you go.
11 piercing damage.
Yeah. It slashes down at you. You release the bow shot. It hits it in the chest, and the wolf collapses to the floor. And we'll get rid of those two. But you've lost some time. You're alone now.
Time to catch up with the others then.
You can press on at speed if you want, and then you can make a separate journey roll and take an extra point of fatigue to try and catch up with everyone.
Let's do it. So how many fatigue is that going to cost me?
Well, you add one anyway, and then we'll see what happens.
Depends on the roll, doesn't it? Is it a hunting roll?
Yep, you can do hunting. Or travel, or... Yeah. So you hurtle forwards through the forest trying to catch up, but you exhaust yourself a little bit doing so. And being that it's just you, this will fall completely on you. And you can give me another hunting roll or awareness roll, whichever you like.
Hunting. One of the few things I'm good at. There we go.
You spot a little... You can clearly see where their tracks have led on as they're following or trying to maneuver themselves between the wolves and the stag, but you sort of notice a little easier terrain that doesn't lead towards that ravine that they lost some time on, and you skirt through there, catching up with them at the edge of this burnt out farmstead.
Hello, boys.
You survived.
You're all...
Good.
Well, everyone who is Sigrun, because, you know, elves don't breathe heavily, and Astanon apparently doesn't care about travelling, is probably feeling pretty tired, breathing fairly heavily now.
Yeah, I hope this is over pretty soon. I'm going to need a bit of a nap, I think.
You're wounded.
It's nothing serious. I'll live.
She's had worse.
Press on. We can fix it when we've dealt with this problem.
Yeah, you're sort of hereish against
Besides,
the grey flood near a burnt out farmstead.
between the two of you, you represent a lovely wall for me to stand behind, especially with that shield of his.
Which way do we sally forth?
How far off do we feel we are with these wolves now?
They're sort of probably within a mile of you, but like there's a substantial... Well, on one side the landscape bends down towards the grey flood, but on the other side where the wolves are, it moves up again towards those low rolling hill land, and you can't quite see past each hill. And in front of you it's the same again, except there seems to be a little cut through and a small grove ahead.
That's where the stag's gone.
Is that when stag's gone?
If
Let's find out.
someone wants to find out, they can
Here we go.
have a look.
A great success.
Yeah, you spot two sets of tracks leading towards the grove.
All right, into the grove. They're probably trying to go around the outside.
Lewis,
Yes.
Astanon has the distinctive feature of swift. So I move
Yep.
fast and I'm quick to take action. We're sort of
Okay.
within a mile now. Astonon's going to put his boots to the ground and start moving very quickly.
Okay. In that case, I'll let you do the next travel / hunting roll, whatever you want, but with
Cool.
favoured.
We're favoured. How do I do that?
Oh no! Wait. Is that a distinctive feature?
Is it a distinctive feature or is it a virtue?
So it says
Yeah.
distinctive feature. I don't have any Oh no, I do have virtues. No, it's not one of my virtues. It's a distinctive feature,
Distinctive
like
feature.
like
Yeah.
shadow law and bold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's used to
Yeah.
just-
In that case, then you're inspired. If you spend 1 hope point, you get 2 extra dice instead of 1.
So I'm inspired.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is your jam.
I feel like I pressed the right button. Oh no, I obviously didn't press the right buttons. How did I needed 2 more dice there.
Yeah, you can add 2. You should be able to click on
okay.
on when it comes up, the whole thing. You should be able to click on spend.
So you press the inspired.
I didn't press the hope button as well. Sorry.
Yeah.
There we go. That's better, isn't it? There we go.
That's more like
and
it.
It was a favoured roll as well, so just.
I didn't do the favoured as well, but there we go.
Yeah, it did that.
Yeah, you did.
I did do that. Okay, cool.
So you can spend 1/6 as well if you want.
I will spend 1/6.
Mention it.
Because
so
I'm
what
probably moving
you can
faster
spend
than
that
the other
on
two.
is you can go quietly, make haste, widen influence, gain insight, score an additional success, or cancel a failure if it was multiple people.
Yeah, I'm going to make haste, given what I said I was doing.
Yeah, you go double time.
But
and
he's squeezing his hand as he does, so he's leaving little red drips in the snow, so the others can keep track of him if he moves out of sight. Because he is wearing an elven cloak and it is snowing, so he probably might lose visibility if he's that fast.
We're all wearing elven cloaks. They're not so special. Stop banging on about it.
His one's extra special. He's been wearing it for a very long time.
I don't know. I feel like Ithildir's probably been wearing it the longest.
Nah, he's an elf. But every time he gets dirty, he probably gets a new one.
Yeah, true. You move into the grove at speed, and in the very center, you can see the stag breathing heavily. Its antlers have dropped off, and sort of where you're standing, where it comes into the grove, you're standing by these 2 giant antlers, fairly substantial antlers lying on the floor. The stag looks like it might have a gash along its side. It's breathing raggedly and fast, and the fawn is sort of hopping about by its side. But you've caught up to it before the wolves have caught up to you, though you can hear them closing in as they howl. And there's one particular baleful, loud, almost language-like howl that picks up
It's a shame
and
Fido
sends a
isn't
shiver through
He's good
your
at killing
spine.
single wargs.
Yeah.
Why have its antlers fallen off?
So you can put them on and look really cool.
Yeah. Because spring is coming.
Shadow Lord, does that baleful howl sound like, you said it sounds like language, but does it sound like a darkness to it?
It's a warg.
Give me a law roll.
Tell me, how have you never fought a warg? You're like 70 years old. You never fought a warg? God, they send them at us in like groups of 12.
No, I don't know.
It sounds like no wolf you've ever heard, but you're not sure what it is.
Orcs, goblins, shadow beasts, for all sorts of things.
So yeah, you're sort of stood in the grove. In the middle is this stag.
Can I try
It's kneeling down now. Ithildir and Sigrun, Asternon's outpaced you. It's just ripped off into the distance, and
Quite
you're sort of
spry for a little fella.
the wolves are rushing off towards this grove as well, and you're still skirting through this burnt out farmyard, which appears to have several dead
I don't like this. We're gonna come back and have a
Dunlendings
look at this
lying
in a little while.
about
Somebody's
it.
done this, and that's not good either. But first, they're already dead. The stag isn't yet. Let's press on. Let's get you and that shield in between the stag and the beasties.
You're probably not going to be able to catch up to Astanon before the wolves get to...
He can tie him up for a round and then we'll come and save him. He's a ranger, that's what they do.
I like that idea. How many wolves do you reckon Astanon can fight in one go, Dan?
All of them. Sure, why not? He's gonna make an attempt at it anyway. He's already set himself up because he would have a rough understanding of the direction the wolves coming from the house. So he's already put himself between the stag and those hows, and he's standing on guard.
Yeah.
Prepared.
In that case,
he knows they're coming.
Astanon, you can give me an awareness roll, and Ithilda and Sigrun can give me a athletics roll as you try to reach Astanon.
Yes, I rolled a Gandalf.
Yeah, you spot
Really bad idea.
the wolves circling around the grove and moving in from the sides.
Funny enough, I failed my athletics roll.
Appreciate the effort though, because it helped me succeed. Because if I'd rolled your dice, I'd have failed.
Sigrun, you have a choice now. Fildir carrying his heavy shield or whatever and heavy armor just doesn't seem to be able to keep up. You can either leave Fildir behind or
Well, that's the beautiful
stay
thing.
with Fildir. Try and catch up to Astanon.
About being Sigrun, that's the best thing, is that I don't need to catch up. I can be between the two of them and just start arrowing.
You're gonna have to be pretty much in the grove to be able to see or hear properly.
In the grove, I will catch up and...
So what's gonna happen is Astanon is gonna fight all the wolves on his own for a round. Then Sigrun will catch up. And then the round after that, so the third round, Thildir will come stumbling in.
But when he does, he'll have his big shield with him. And that's what counts.
Yeah, let me find some particularly heroic music for this.
Now someone else has to take over. That's how we can get around the 3 second thing.
Is that how it works?
Dun, dun,
Please
dun,
do
dun,
not
dun.
take legal advice from me.
Wrong movie.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
Different franchise.
We're just all over the place. Oh yes, that's very dramatic music.
I turned music off or something. I bet I have.
Astanon.
Yes. That's a big wolf, that is, isn't it?
Yeah. As you look around you, you see 5 wolves creeping forwards out of the trees, and then atop a great ruin-clad rock in front of you in the centre of the grove, this one particularly large, very almost unwolf-like looking wolf, dark, baleful, with fiery red eyes, clambers to the top and howls. Can you give me a shadow test for dread? So that's on your valor.
I get
All of us?
And I can recommend spending hope for this, because you
I
could
get an
pick up a
additional die.
lot of shadow points.
I get an additional dice because I have Strength of Will Rangers.
Go for it.
You gain 1 additional dice made to resist the effects of dread. This is on Valor, did you say?
Yeah.
And, where's my extra dice button? think that's how it works. I have no idea what I rolled there.
A 9, which is a failure.
Do I take some dread? Do I?
You take a fairly large amount of dread.
I
That's
should have used hope.
three dread point. 3 shadow points.
Is that temporary? Is it?
Yeah, temporary shadow.
Lovely.
And everyone at home has just seen what that is.
No, I just looked at. I know I shouldn't have looked at the book. I looked at the book. I was like, "Is that really a Hound of Sauron?" And I went, "I wonder what his might is."
Yeah.
And then I opened it up, and it's like, "Strike fear." Oh,
Are you trying to
yeah.
kill me in our first episode, Lewis? Is that
no,
what's
you'll be
happening?
fine.
I mean,
Fine.
technically for us it's season 3, so if no one
At
dies
least he'll
now,
shut up about the hope point spend now, because you're not
Yeah.
allowed to spend them anymore.
Oh, why not?
Yeah, no. Because unfortunately you're daunted now.
Is that what, the thing that it should say that somewhere?
So yeah,
Cool.
the Hound of Sauron howls out into the night sky, and
Yeah, they're worse
you
than
can-
wargs. That's like a warg werewolf hybrid thing, isn't it?
you
They're
can
horrible.
understand what it's saying in some part of your mind, and it just says tear the manling apart.
Come at me.
And the other wolves move in towards you. You're the only one there, I'll just put them next to you, and you can fight them all, which should
Fine.
be terrible.
You got this,
but
mate.
on the plus side, you get to go first, depending on what's... Well, you can choose a stance as well. Forward, open, defensive. Forward,
Oh, you have to
basically you
remind-
get an extra dice on your attack rolls, but they get an extra dice attacking you.
Yep.
Defensive is obviously the other way around, and open is just standard. And
Unsurprisingly, I will be defensive. I'm surrounded
Yeah.
by wolves. I'm not an idiot.
yeah. So
Already
you
dashed
should
it
be
on me.
able to change that token on Aston. Well, I think maybe where can you do that? Here. If you can't remember how we did that. You can change it somewhere. Should get
Who knows?
a little pop up.
So, but what
I
it
think you
basically
have to
means,
have the token picked, don't you? You have it
Yeah.
on token mode, and you click on it. No. I do not know off the top of my head.
No, neither do I. I can't remember.
Is it a right click, maybe?
it's not letting me select
If-
any.
Jeff happens to still be in the chat, feel free to tell us, because I can't remember how you changed something. Damn it.
Shall I just swing at one of them?
I remember
Yeah,
it being
well.
a thing.
Yeah, I remember you used to be able to just click it open, as far as I can recall.
Yeah.
So
And then
defensive
just
means I get
select-
one less attack die. Is that correct?
Yes, so you lose 1 die on the attack, but they also lose 1 die attacking you.
Okay.
It's obviously useful. So you can take a swing at whoever you want. Select one,
Ugh.
hit it. Yeah, you're just... Astanon is swinging around wildly, trying to keep the wolves at bay, but there are a lot of them. And they're slowly circling in around you. They've left the stag for the moment.
Oh yeah, he did tell him
as
to kill the man.
The Hound of
You're
Sauron
working as a distraction.
slowly lopes forwards towards it.
Alright, they got to attack me now, have they?
Yep, they do.
I have a parry rating. Does that do a thing?
Oh wait, I know why we couldn't change it. You could do opening volleys first. That was basically it. There you go. Now you should probably be able. Yeah, now you can select defensive.
So I could have shot a shot off before.
Yeah,
they come
you
and
could
got
have
me.
shot a shot off before. So we'll count that as your miss, and you can roll your defensive attack again.
Okay, I'll roll my defensive attack.
So if you click on the defensive token.
I've just taken the.
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm not rolling great tonight, am I? But I will put on defensive. There we are.
Yeah. Don't forget to select the one of the wolves.
It wasn't letting me select one, unfortunately. For some reason.
You have to click on the target button.
Right click on it and click on the target button. No?
Oh, is that worked? Is that? Oh yeah, no, that has worked. Yeah, that has worked. Yeah.
Yeah. Click it again. Just make sure.
Yes, it's showing up as targeted now. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got a little red. Beep 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 beep. Flashy flashy.
Yeah. In that case, just firing your bow wildly, swinging your sword around, trying to stop them. They will, however, bite you.
Now, like I said, does my parry do anything?
Yeah, that basically raises the difficulty, but it does that automatically when I try and attack you.
Okay. And I'm definitely in defensive mode as well. Cool. All right.
Yeah.
I can't see what you're rolling. It's very unnerving.
It misses. The first fangs come lurching in, and you sort of swing your sword to the side, block them off.
Let's do this.
Just left that open. And then the next one lurches forwards and misses. And then again and again. And
told you could last a round. See, you're fine.
Taking up a defensive stance.
But haven't touched you.
yeah,
You're a
they
ninja.
I think it's between my high parry rating and being defensive right now.
It's basically the fact that your parry rating is 19.
Yes. I remember this last time we played. My parry rating made it very difficult for things to hit me.
In any event, yeah, they all have a go, but you successfully ward them off. The hound, on the other hand, bites into the deer's hindquarters, and it collapses on its side as it's thrashing about. At that point, Sigrun runs up and joins the battle. Unfortunately, Sigrun.
No opening volley.
Yeah, and another slight problem. You don't qualify for ranged attack at the moment because there's more than double the attackers because Ifilda's not there.
Like further away, that just seems very odd.
Yeah, but they're going to come and get you.
Okay, that's fine. Come on then.
So you can both change your stances to whatever you want.
I will swap out to open.
The snow around you at this point has sort of almost boiled away under the continuous stamping and stomping of Astenon's feet and the many fangs and claws of the
I'm going to stay in rearward
wolves.
stance. Oh no, I can change my stance next round as well, can't I?
Yep, you can change
So
yeah.
I will switch to defensive then.
Yep. Two of them are going to peel off to attack you.
It's not letting me switch to defensive.
Yeah, you're on defensive.
Yeah, you're in defensive. I can see the little shadow.
Oh yeah. All good.
In any event, Astenon, you go first because you're in forward stance. Target one.
I'm in open.
Open. Oh, okay, but it's still before defensive. So target one and give it a smack. Great success.
I'm going to add 7 to the damage, apparently, because I got a special
Yeah.
success.
Yeah, because you
I deal
probably
14
can't
damage
reach
with
your
my...
piercing. Yeah.
Does that kill a wolf?
One of them just collapses dead as you. How'd you finish it off?
So I think that was probably the last one that lunged, and he kind of sidestepped and brought it down on its neck as it lunged in.
Yeah.
As he seamlessly swaps between defensive and open stance.
Striking down one of the wolves. Then Sigrun, you're up next.
Wow, this is bollocks, isn't it? Got to sword this fella. It's rubbish. Have it! No, not like that, no. I've almost forgotten how to use this thing.
Your sword strikes down, but you're not used to it, and the wolf darts to the side. The first one lurches in at Astanon,
Come
who's
on,
now
Perry,
in open stance, and hopefully I can hit you. Yeah.
Why is my parry so low? Indeed, 0.
It lurches in quite fiercely as you strike down this one.
Do I get
wolf.
to roll my armor?
The other one, lunges at you, bites deeply into your shoulders and back, and the blow looks like it's going to pierce your armor and injure you. You take 8 endurance damage, but you might also, you can click on the protection roll and you might take a wound.
No.
Unfortunately, 21. Your close-fitting leather corselet just turns the teeth away, and all you get is a really heavy bruise where these powerful jaws have crunched down.
Very cool.
Why do I have a parry rating of 0? Is there a special thing I'm supposed to have done that I've missed somewhere?
Your parry rating should be... Is it? Wait, let me have a look. Oh yeah, your parry rating is on 0. It should not be.
No.
I will just quickly get that. So
No wonder I got beaten up.
yeah it was probably fairly easy to bite you then. Your parry rating comes off of your wits, I think.
That might be why it's so low then.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be 0.
Shouldn't be 0, no. Oh, parry should be wits plus 12.
Yep, that was what I was just looking up, and I thought it was plus 12, but I wasn't entirely sure. I wanted to make sure.
So that should be 14 for me then.
Yeah, so change that quickly, because you're going to get attacked by a wolf.
Going to get launched, yeah.
Wolf strikes out at Sigrun, but you ward it off with your sword, kind of half remembering how you used the damn thing. And then over to Astanon, another one comes in with fangs and claws and tries to bite you, but misses. and yeah, you manage to, after being chomped on by one of them, you manage to successfully ward off the other two. At which point,
Our elven
the
friend.
Hound of Sauron decides it's time to enter the fray, and Ithildir also turns up. The Hound
It's clobbering time.
moves past the dying deer towards you. Yeah.
You take care of
What
these fellas,
stances-
I'll have the big one.
What stances do you want to take? Now, technically, Sigrun is eligible for rearward stance, but then Ithildir would have to take over the two that are attacking you. And then, because there are 2 players other than yourself, and there's not more than double the enemies attacking you, you can use rearward stance. One of you can use rearward stance.
What was the best stance for attack?
Forward. You get an extra dice, but they also get an extra dice against you.
Makes you more susceptible.
I can't see my combat state for some reason.
But, you know, Ithildir can also still spend hope, because...
Am I in rearward stance?
Yes. Yes,
okay,
you are.
Good.
So you're going for the warg and you want me to carry on attacking the 2 that
Yeah,
you've
if
already
you can
got?
take these 2 off of me, I can do a lot more to the warg than I can do either of these with a bloody sword.
Sure thing.
So we'll swap you out, and Sigrun moves backwards.
Tasty little combat roll. Da-da-da-da. Under the shield as it comes in. Clunk.
Right, Ithildir, you're going to go first. So select whoever you want to hit, target them, and then press your sword or whatever your, well, the sword's proficiency, combat proficiency, whatever you're using. And then tell me what happens. I don't have to tell you everything.
How do I know if I've targeted them?
If
There
you
should be
right
little
click on them,
crosshairs that
Yeah.
appears on them.
if you right click on them, press the target button in the lower left hand side, then you should get like 4 little
You can
triangles
switch to target
around
mode
them.
in the top left as well,
Yeah, you can also
which is the
do
circle
all
full
that.
of circles.
Okay, so... Yep, I think I've targeted. Have I?
Which one are you
A little.
targeting?
The one on the right.
Can you ping it?
It's pinging.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to spend a point of hatred to make your attack on it ill-favored. Snake-like speed.
Oh, that's a bit mean.
Because I'm mean.
So do I have to do something on my side? No.
So when you click your attack, you'll have to click on ill-favored. So you click
It's the thing that says best
best
and
or
worst.
worst of.
You
You
switch
click
it to
that
worst,
little
so it
dice
goes
next
red.
to it and click on
Oh,
worst.
it's not good when it goes red, is it?
Yeah.
Blimey.
You didn't do ill-favoured, but still, I'll let you off.
Oh, I clicked it. It went red and everything.
Yeah.
He might have been favoured already.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, then it reverts to nothingness. Yeah. You didn't select it, though. But it was just a normal success, so how much damage does your sword do?
It's grievous, fell, keen, and it does damage 6.
Okay. Yeah, that one more wolf is looking very worse for wear as you sort of slice into it and it backs off a little bit. trying to dart out of the way. Astanon, you're up next.
He's also on the offensive here. Obviously not as crazy as the elf going all out attack, but it's a success.
Which one did you hit? Sorry.
The one.
This one. This one.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that one there.
Okay.
6 damage.
Yes. Yep. So same again. That one, just like the one that Thildir hit, looks quite badly injured as your sword slices along its flank as it tries to move in to bite you again, and just rips open a big wound. Finally, Sigrun, who are you attacking?
I'm going for the Borg, the Winter Wolf, the Hound of Sauron.
Okay, wait a minute.
Swift death.
1 second. Sure. Yeah, no problem. Go for it.
All right. So his protection rolls are ill-favoured.
Yeah.
He has a might of more than 2, so my attack roll is favoured. And it's a felled superior weapon. So have a bit of this. And do you know what? I'm going to spend a point of hope as well. Because I'm quite keen on shooting this fella. There's a Gandalf as well.
That definitely hits. Yeah.
So
what are you spending your extra successes on?
well, it automatically pierces.
Yeah.
So all I can do is heavy blows.
Okie dokie. And it will make a protection roll. So it takes a fair amount of damage to start with.
And it's ill-favoured protection.
Yes. There we go. Let me just look. Okay. Alas. Can't always. It appears to be wounded. And badly injured at that, as your arrow strikes it quite true, and sort of the shaft hits it in the throat and it starts bleeding. It isn't dead yet though. It howls something horrible, but it's still very much alive.
Yeah, he's a bit tasty.
There you go. And it's the Hound of Sauron's turn next. And I'm going to spend 1 hate to use my Great Leap so that I can attack you in rearward stance.
Oh no.
Bloody hell.
And then it is definitely going to try and chomp you to death.
Which is fair.
Because you did the same. So, yeah.
Yeah.
It hits you for 5 damage, and you need, and also its teeth just sort of crunch through your armor, and it does deadly wounds. So your protection roll is ill-favored.
Okay. Ill-favoured.
Wait, no, wait. I'm wrong about that. No, you can just do your wounds normally, but if you take a wound, your roll to determine how severe it is ill-favoured.
Okay.
Your armor fortunately glances it off.
Good work, people of Dale.
Yeah. Good
Cunning
job.
make change saves the day.
And I think before I finish up with it, I'm going to spend another hate just
Still
to
take
try
5 damage, don't I?
Yeah, you still take the 5 damage, but it will also try to strike fear into Ithildir and Sigrun as well by howling its baleful, dark language curses at you.
Cool. What do I need to resist that?
I believe Sigrun is also weary, which you can select.
I just dropped my
Right.
helm and longsword to avoid weariness.
Yep.
Oh! I'm a lady in Lord of the Rings taking a helmet off to fight a monster.
Yeah.
Do it.
I am no man. And is this a valor
So
roll?
both of you can take a valor roll. And you can spend hope for that.
Yeah, let's do it. Because
Take a what roll, sorry?
Valor.
spend hope, still fail.
That was a lot of dice.
What's a lot of dice?
That's a lot of ones.
A lot of ones.
Yeah, Ithildir passed.
Ithildir.
I fear not the shadow.
Yeah.
I suppose you could pass
So-
some of that luck this way, could you?
Ithildir, you still take 2 shadow, but you're not daunted,
What?
so you can still spend hope in the fight. Yeah, well, you managed to succeed,
Where is my shadow?
so you're not daunted, and you got an extra success, so that reduces the 3 shadow you would have taken to 2.
Hooray!
So how much
Unfortunately,
shadow do I
Hard for
take?
me to get rid of shadow.
Sigrun, you take 3 shadow and you can't spend hope.
It's probably for the best. I've been overspending my hope like water anyway.
And then we'll move on to the dwarves. The first one is going to try and chow down on Ithildir.
No,
Now,
leave me alone.
spurred on by its master, but unfortunately that did nothing. As it sort of tries to bite you, but you're just wincing away at the noise of this foul dark speech, and it leaps past you. The next one is also going to attack Ithildir. Poor old Ithildir. The 2 on you leap in to bite you. Jesus Christ! What's your parry rating, Ithildir?
I think it's like 22
My
because it's
parry
9.
rating.
It's 19
Oh,
plus 3 from his
Okay
shield.
then, because I rolled a 19. I was like,
It's
oh, that'll
19,
hit.
21.
Oh no, it
22.
didn't.
Yeah, 22.
I had the same problem when I ran Illwind from the north.
Yeah.
Bless him, I had a poor Bjorning with next to no parry
Oh, right.
rating, but 1,000,000 hit
Yeah.
points. And just this one elf who was like, ping, you can't hit me, ping, you can't hit me. Parry rating of
Okay.
23 or something.
Yeah. Gonna have to do something about that, aren't we? The 2 around around Astanon leap in. One lurches forwards, and as you move your sword to parry it, the other one strikes, and just manages to get in between your defenses and bites you. You lose 4 endurance, but you also have to take a protection roll as your armor tries to ward off the teeth. And it does so successfully once again. It's got a few dents in your leather corselet now, and underneath it you can
it should.
feel your ribs hurt a little bit and your shoulder
What
hurts.
kind of leather is
but-
that made from?
But it's standing the test so far.
Oliphaunt hide.
And then as the other one bites you, the first one that feigned an attack now leaps in again, but massively fails. So great.
Hit him.
Back round to you lot. Do you want to change stances or?
I shall remain in open.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to
Thilde?
remain in rearward?
Technically, yes.
Rain forward.
We'll say you sort of like scurry back out of the way after being bitten.
Yeah, nobody enjoys that.
No, not really. Right, so everyone set? Okay then.
Yeah.
Athildir, you're in forward stance still, so you get to go first. You can hit whoever you want. You can move
Right, I'm
as
gonna
well.
go first.
And just
No, I'm going to go for that same wolf. Now,
Yep.
I've targeted it because there are 4
Yep.
arrows pointing
Yep.
towards it, yeah?
So if you
So
go
it's-
to your character sheet then,
Yep.
and then you click on combat proficiencies swords, then it should hit it automatically and you'll get the whole readout.
I'm going to use... How do I use hope? Bonus dice. Oh, no, hope bonus
Just
dice.
click on one of the hope
Just
dice.
click on hope and it should take
There you
one
go.
hope off of your hope rating,
Then I will
which
go.
I'll be able to see
Roll.
if I do this.
Oh, for God's sake, so many dice and so
Yeah, it's
hard,
spent.
lower roll. Still pass though.
It hit though. For some reason, it didn't hit the wolf. I think it wasn't targeted, but it's a success in any event. So, how much
Not
damage does
liking
it
my
do?
targeting,
6.
is it?
Yeah.
6 with
In
stuff.
that case, yeah, it was just
Bell,
was it?
Keen, Grievous.
It was a normal success. So, yeah. Just tell me how you killed the wolf.
Ah, the wolf
Brutally.
claws at my great shield, biting and slathering upon it, and I kind of bring my sword underneath its jaw, piercing it through its jaw and up into its mouth. And then
Yeah.
gracefully pulling my sword away in a very
And
elven
as you do
fashion.
that, it collapses forwards, like with its chin lying down punk, on the snow, which starts to turn red. Astanon.
I will be doing a similar thing of hitting the one I was already whacking again earlier.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah.
That's got a Gandalf.
That does 6 damage. So, I will say, you know what? We'll roll that protection roll. And if it works out well for you, the 6 damage will kill the first wolf, and the wound might kill the second.
Huzzah!
Because I'm nice, and I don't want to kill you all in the prologue. I do, really. The wolf is wounded. So the 2 around you, what happens to them?
So obviously one's sort of like lumping into my shoulder, and he's gonna sort of bring the blade back, and then yank it out. And as he yanks it out, the other one's coming forward, and he brings it down and slashes right across its throat, and rolls to the side and stands back up. And the wolf kind of turns to face it, and then just goes dump onto the floor.
Yeah.
And then Aslan looks back towards his comrades to see how they're doing.
Yeah, they seem to be slowly getting the better of the other wolves, but this one Hound of Sauron is moving in towards Sigrun again. Its teeth shimmering in the snow, its eyes baleful red, and there's almost a palpable malice around it. You're all kind of fearful of it as well now.
But I am Sigrun, daughter of Sigrid, granddaughter of Bard the Bowman, slayer of Smaug, the terror of the north, and I don't fear the shadow or you. eat arrow.
Nice. I'm gonna roll the protection roll. It's ill-favored.
It is.
The Hound of Sauron. What happens to it? Pray tell.
That second arrow goes right into that slavering maw as it opens it up to attack. I just hold off until the last second, just as it's about to jump, and then thump, bury the arrow right down its throat
Yeah.
and into the heart from the inside where it's squishy and soft.
As it collapses to the floor, what was a malicious beast of the shadow sort of dissipates into shadow itself, and you see almost a black form shoot off along the floor, scurrying away as if returning with its tail between its legs towards its dark master.
Return to the shadow from whence you came.
Is destroyed, and the last wolf is not looking particularly eager to continue the fight now that it's not being pressed on by the will of the Hound of Sauron, which you have slain. Anyone want to kill the last wolf?
Surely the elf. Aston's probably running towards the stag to see if there's anything he can do to save its life.
Go on, Ithildir.
Okay. Let me try and target. You go, right, I've targeted it. There's 4 bloody arrows again.
Press your actual weapon, because I found that when I was pressing the sword's combat proficiency, but you know your weapon, if it says like
yeah,
I was clicking on that, and that was when it was
Yeah,
doing
don't click on combat proficiency, click under war gear on the actual weapon itself.
My character sheets are a little bit different.
Wait, so click on the weapon.
Click on the weapon itself,
The name of the weapon.
And then it should come up with the same rolling thing.
Yeah.
This time it'll factor in the grievous, fell, keen, spiky lasers.
Yeah, it did.
Ah, there we go.
Lasers and all.
Yeah. You hack it apart, seemingly. Tell me how you finish off the last wolf. These wolves that you've been tracking now for nigh on 9 days, that have been terrorizing what remains.
My blade fells it with one swift stroke upon its neck, beheading it cleanly. Its head tumbles to the floor, its blood spraying across the white snow.
And with that, the world becomes silent once more, except for these ragged snortings of the bleeding stag that is lying on the floor. Its hind has been clawed open. It already had a gash along its front legs, and its breathing is becoming slower and slower.
So I'm assuming there's nothing that we can do for it.
You can have a look.
Should I roll a healing roll to see if I can see anything?
Yeah.
My healing's not too bad either.
One of you can roll healing. Another one can assist if you want.
Yes. I will allow the elf, because the elves are much better at healing than...
They got healing magic and like crazy stuff.
But
I will.
but
You need me to find some Athalas?
Yeah. He's chewing on some Athalas to make it into a poultice to stuff into any wounds. So he's assisting.
I will apply some
So
healing.
if Astanon wants to spend a hope point, you can give 1 extra dice, or 2 if they're your fellowship focus, to Ithildir.
They are my fellowship focus,
There
so
you
you
go.
get 2 additional dice there. I will spend the hope point. Am I allowed to spend hope yet?
Yeah.
Yes,
Now,
'cause
now
the
the
thing that
hound is
stopped us
dead.
spending
You're no
hope is
longer
dead.
daunted.
Okay, cool.
I will
You have
spend hope as well.
overcome your fears with a sword and a bow and another sword.
It's gonna work.
That seems an awfully low amount of dice.
It really does for someone who had 3
Yeah,
extra dice going.
I
Yeah,
have
but
4 dice. Hold on.
You've done something wrong there because your healing's better than mine. You're
Yeah.
healing 4, aren't you?
I've got healing 4.
Okay, so open up your
Yes.
healing,
Let me have a
right?
look.
And then instead of penalty bonus dice, see how there's the bonus and penalty thing. To the right, you add the 2 extra dice from Dan,
Yeah.
and then you click.
Oh, I did it as penalty. Sorry.
Yeah.
You had two. You had 2 for me
I'll let
because
you-
you should have like
Yeah, and then
Four-
I'll spend
four
my
healing.
health point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 plus. You should have 7 dice in addition
Sorry,
to.
I
And if
Did it penalty point?
healing wasn't favoured, but if it were favoured, then you'd.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's
That,
again,
oh, and
Literally the opposite.
yeah.
better.
25
Sounds
with a
better.
Gandalf.
It is as you stand over this great stag, giant white heart. You're pretty certain that it's not going to make it, and you place your hand upon it to offer it some peace in its final moments. And as you do so, you spot to the side of you the fawn you saw darting
I was going to say,
by
can I
its
try and
side.
get the fawn?
And Athildir, you move towards it and notice its leg is also injured. And you manage to offer your healing services to the fawn instead. And as the stag breathes its last breath, the fawn sort of kicks away and darts back into the forest. And somewhere in the distance, Sigrun, you hear bells tolling. And you know those bells. They're the bells of Dale. And as you watch the stag slowly die, a thrush sits upon your shoulder, and you realise your uncle, Bane, King of Dale, has passed away.
Knackered. I'm injured. Supernatural weird shit everywhere. Just gonna go into the sand. Already taken my hat off though. The King of Dale is dead.
Long live the Queen?
It's another
Princess?
king, technically.
Yeah. No, I'm bird.
Yeah.
Been lame.
But the bird starts to chirp to you, and not speaking the language of birds as your grandfather did, you can just sort of make out a sense that it seemed quite excited. It's the same thrush you saw earlier. Something is wrong.
Gentlemen, I think I have to go home. I wonder if you might accompany me to the city of Dale.
I will.
It's a long way for a ranger.
Literally your job description, though.
No, I defend the northern parts of Arnor.
So, perhaps we should return to Rivendell to prepare for such long journey.
Indeed. But first, we need to stop by that burned out farmstead and investigate there. There's a lot to take in and a lot to take away. Actually, that's not first, that's second. First, and I will pull out a little skinning knife and go over to that Hound of Sauron.
It turned into shadow, didn't it?
He turned into a shadow.
There's sort of
The
a
spirit did, the body
yeah.
didn't.
The malice around it has dissipated and returned to its dark master, but there's a carcass there of a very large wolf.
It's an oversized wolf, and I'm going to wear it as a cloak. And then when its mates see it next time, I'll be like,
Who's daunted now? Okay.
So yes, I wish to skin it and bundle the fur for travel, and then head back to that little farmstead if we can, and poke around there.
Sure. If you want to give me one final insight roll, we'll see what you learn at the farmstead.
Is that all of us or just one of us?
Any one of you.
Somebody's rolled a huge
There you
amount
go.
of dice.
Sigrun went for it.
I had an Eye of Sauron in that lot as well.
What you find is a burnt out farmstead. All the crops are destroyed. The farm itself is destroyed. There's no sign of whoever owned the farm previously. But it's one less person in the already desolate Cardolan. And there's at least 2 corpses of Dunlending raiders lying by the burnt out farm.
Dunlending.
And as you return back to Rivendell, moving this time towards the road and bringing yourself up through Bree and then around, you've passed by a few other burnt out farmsteads or homes on the way, and similar signs of Dunlending raids.
Is out of Dunland.
They're a bit far away from home.
So were the wolves. Seems something gives our enemies will
Last time we
and
were this way,
drive.
we know something stirs in Angmar the last time we were up here. And there were those men.
The Black Numenorians.
Yes. And this is another far travelled southerner to these western lands.
Then we make for Rivendell. We report our findings to Lord Elrond, and from thence to Dale.
Yes.
Okay. We'll move you back to here. So now you travel along the Greenway up and to the Great Eastern Road and spend some time in Bree recovering from your ardors, and there you are now known as the Great Wolf Slayers as well, and they spread your tale far and wide, and also the people become more wary of raids from Dunlending. But Sigrun, throughout it all, you have this deep insight that you need to hurry to Dale as fast as you can travel, and you should not tarry long in Rivendell.
No.
And with that, I believe the prologue has come to an end. So yeah, thank you
Cool.
to the three
Thank
of you
you.
for playing through it, and thank you to everyone watching at home. And we'll be back next week with the start of the Ballad of Bardings. So, Ben, you'll probably know best of all what's going on in Garblack.
Oh, now you're asking. I believe that we're starting a new. The Americanians. They must be doing something tonight. They'll be doing something tonight.
Probably. Yeah.
Stop it!
Stop doing things. Oh,
No,
no.
my cat's misbehaving in the background.
All right.
Yeah. The Americanians will be doing something tonight, one assumes. I have no idea what they're up to at the minute. I am totally out of the loop because it's me and my brain is sketchy.
I mean,
Then
it's been
hopefully-
holiday period, so
Yeah.
everyone's.
Hopefully we're back on Tuesday with Coriolis. I don't know the story about Wednesdays at the minute. Either of you? No? No.
No, we don't have anything on, I don't believe.
And then next Thursday this again. So
Yep.
that's approximately like a schedule, only badly worded.
That's the greatest schedule there is.
Yeah.
It's the greatest schedule we can provide. Anyway, Thank you, everyone. Have a
Thank
great
you.
rest of your day or evening. And yeah, we'll see you here again
all the things,
same
of
time
course.
next week.
Discord, go to
and-
YouTube.
See if I can murder anyone on the way to Dale.
Oh,
Because that's going to be a trek.
it's a long trek.
Yeah.
Don't forget to sub. It is a long
All right.
trek. I can't remember
There
where
you go.
Dale is in relation to everything. It's out by the Lonely Mountain, so
Yep.
Yeah.
By the Misty Mountain.
So you've got to
It's
cross
off
the
the
Misty
map, isn't it?
Mountains. You got to go through the forests, or at least down the old forest road, and then travel all the way to Erebor. Basically,
It's a long trip.
it's
Yep.
a long trip. Yeah.
hey,
Yay.
Bilbo did it. We can do it. And there's no
Yeah,
dragon
precisely.
waiting at the other end. Actually, who am I kidding? Let's hope there is a dragon at the other end.
Okay, I'll add that in. Right. Thank you, everyone. Good
Thank
night.
you.
Good night. Thank you. Yeah. Bye.